Rock and roll. Texans win the last preseason game of this year, taking down the Saints. Sunday Night Football, the Battle of the Bayou. This one felt good. Texans win 17-13. Leading passer for the Texans, E.J. Perry, which, I mean, he got the most playing time. Him and Davis Mills, I guess, combined. Mike Boone looked good out there. The Texans' third running back, 7 carries for 51 yards and a nice touchdown. Xavier Hutchinson, we finally saw some of Xavier Hutchinson, had a nice long catch from Davis Mills, or was it E.J. Perry? One of the two. Xavier Hutchinson, either way, though, he showed up finally doing something for the Texans. Great game overall. Jake Haener, 2 interceptions, backbreakers at the end of the game. The Texans defense held on 2 separate times to keep the lead and keep the Texans giving them that dub. And hey, if you weren't there for our watch party, you missed out because it was a fun time. Our second ever watch party here on Texans Today. But you don't want to miss out for further watch parties. More news and rumors, updates coming up all throughout the season. So you got to go down there, hit that sub button, turn on your notifications, but only if you're a real Texans fan. Go down there and hit the sub button if you want daily Texans news and rumors videos. The first winner, it's got to be C.J. Stroud. After the game, named the starter for Week 1. I was Nostradamus. I predicted it. C.J. Stroud is going to be the starter Week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. This guy right here is going to be slinging the rock for H-Town, the number 2 overall pick. And hey, the writing was on the wall. We all knew it. But C.J. Stroud, he improved against the Miami Dolphins. He only had 2 drives. Yeah, he only had 2 drives against the Saints, but improved there as well. Hey, first drive of the game, maybe the best throw of the game was an incompletion to Nico Collins. C.J. Stroud dropping it in the breadbasket. Good defense. Nico Collins somewhat dropped it as well. But C.J. Stroud looked great tonight. Only 2 drives, I know, but he looked great. And hey, he's just got named the starter for your Houston Texans. Go out and get this man's jersey available right now with our friends at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/Stroud to get your C.J. Stroud official Houston Texans jersey today. You don't want to be rocking a David Carr or T.J. Yates jersey at NRG. You want to be rocking a C.J. Stroud jersey. So go down there and get it right now with our friends at Fanatics. Links down there in the comments and description of today's video. Go to chatsports.com/Stroud. The next winner, I mean, didn't make a huge impact in the receiving game, but Tank Dell setting up the Texans for that first quarter touchdown with an amazing return. Had everybody going fake right, shimmied over fake left, found the sideline, went down for about 25, 30 yards. Tank Dell continues to impress. I'm just upset I didn't get to see more of him in the preseason because he had that tweaked hamstring or, felt tightness before the Dolphins game, sat out, played a little bit against the Saints. Tank Dell looks all bit of advertised from the University of Houston. Everybody said he's a small guy, but hey, he's shifty, he's quick, and he makes people miss an open space, and that's exactly what this young man does. Tank Dell, I am so pumped to see what you do during the regular season. I just gave you my first 2 guys, 2 more to come, but let me know what you think. Who do you think was the Texans' biggest winner against the New Orleans Saints? Give me a name down in the comment section. There's going to be an ad break here from YouTube. Perfect timing. Go down there, get in the comment section, and let me know who do you think was the biggest winner against the New Orleans Saints. Number 3 on my list, Cameron Dantzler signed this week. Game-sealing interception to end the game. Cameron Dantzler, I mean, Disney couldn't have written a better script, even though the writers are on strike, so they probably couldn't have written a better script. But Cameron Dantzler wrote it for them. Interception to end the game. He's competing with a roster spot. Him and Kadar Holman could be fighting for that last cornerback spot. I don't know. Kadar Holman didn't look too bad. He gave up a touchdown to Jimmy Graham, but besides that, he looked pretty good. Cameron Dantzler gave up a couple receptions, but hey, the interception at the end of the game, I don't care who it is. It's going to be in the back of your mind. Last play of the game, this guy gets an interception. That's going to bode very well for him on cut down Cutdown day. Matter of fact, cutdown day this Tuesday. Next up, the Texans defensive line. They were getting gashed against the Dolphins bad in the run game. And they shored some things up. I saw a lot better play out of Kurt Henish. Texans edge rushers looked really good. Grenard. Jerry Hughes, which I don't get why. He was playing into the second, I believe in the third quarter. Jerry Hughes, the veteran, he looked great. I mean, as he should. He's a veteran. He's been in this league for a long time. Led the Texans in sacks last season. But I was a little perplexed, a veteran like Jerry Hughes, why he was playing so late into the game. But, Odolei, Jacob Martin, the Texans defensive line looked a lot better this week. Sheldon Rankins made a couple plays, Malik Collins as well. The entire defensive line really impressed me this game. They're one of my winners against the Saints. Now I got to get to the losers. And Kenyon Green, I don't know where to start. First of all, the news right before kickoff, Kenyon Green not in the starting lineup. He was running with the twos. Michael Dieter basically took his spot. The Texans offensive line coach saying Kenyon Green still has some work to do. Your first-round pick from last year, who started last year, doesn't look like he's going to start against the Ravens. He's got a lot of work to do. And, Kenyon Green, one of the worst plays of the game, by far one of the worst plays of the game, he gets destroyed by Bryan Bresee, the Saints defensive lineman, and then immediately starts grabbing at his arm. He had an upper body injury. But, regardless of the injury, he got put in the spin cycle by Bresee. That's going to go on his highlight tape because he made him look silly. He got hurt because he got beat so bad by Bresee. Like, from the get, Bresee hit him with the an absolutely disgusting spin move. And Kenyon Green, he went for it hook, line, and sinker. He fell for it bad. So, he has to be my biggest loser tonight. Your first-round pick from last year, like I said, might not be starting the year against the Ravens in week 1. Kenyon Green's my biggest loser. What about you? Who do you think? Get down in the comment section for me right now. Who do you think was the Texans' biggest loser against the Saints? I'm struggling to think of a name other than Kenyon Green who deserves to be the biggest loser of this game. I'm not saying Kenyon Green's a loser. I'm not saying give up on him. Hey, he has some talent. He was taken in the first round for a reason. But right here, right now, this game, Kenyon Green coming out of this game as a big loser. You lose your spot to Michael Dieter and then get hurt/beat on the same play. Bad looks. Bad looks. Next up, Shaquille Griffin. I don't know how to feel about Shaquille Griffin. He looks decent in pass coverage, but something I've noticed from last week, and then I noticed it this week as well against the Saints, Shaquille Griffin has been booty cheeks in run defense. Like, he cannot contain the edge whatsoever. And that goes with also not even run defense, but also quick wide receiver screens. He keeps on getting beat. So I wonder if that plays a factor in the Texans' 53-man roster, whether they keep him or whether they go with the Cameron Dantzler, Kadar Holman. Shaquille Griffin obviously has talent. He has good coverage skills, but his tackling and run support is horrendous at times. You think to that game last week against the Dolphins, he was partly the reason why they scored another touchdown, letting a huge run go down the sidelines. Shaquille Griffin, I think he'll end up making this roster, but not good looks in run defense and against the screen game. Against routes, against, just pass coverage, he's good. But glaring hole in his game right there. Glaring hole. My last loser, and this doesn't really have to do with how he played. He had a good catch. He was decent in the return game even. But I just don't think Steven Sims, the hometown kid, is going to make the squad. He's from Houston. I was hoping Steven Sims would have a chance, but when I'm looking at the Texans wide receiver depth chart, I think they only keep 6. And I don't see them letting go of Xavier Hutchinson, their rookie this season from Iowa State. I don't see that. He's not taking Mechie's spot. He's not taking Tank's spot. I think Woods, Brown, Nico, they're all a lock. So 6 wide receivers already. I don't think the Texans go 7. So, I mean, in that instance, Steven Sims, he's a loser, not for his play, but just for his situation, because I don't think he's going to end up making this 53-man roster, even though he's a skilled player. Everywhere he's gone, it's been kind of the same story. He's a skilled player, but he's just kind of been the odd man out, and I feel bad for Steven Sims for that reason. But, hey, that makes him a loser for the Texans against the Saints. Now, that's going to be it for today's show, but if you want more Texans updates, Texans highlights, everything around the Houston Texans, the dankest NFL memes on the Xverse, Twitterverse, whatever you want to call it these days, go follow me at Jeremy Chuggs. I'll give a follow back to the first 5 people who follow me from this video. Just send me a DM, say, hey, I followed you from winners and losers. I'm going to follow the first 5 people back who do that. Thank you to everybody who joined our Texans versus Saints watch party. It was a blast. And until next time, let's go Texans.